MegaMan Battle Network is one of my all-time favorite RPG series, and with the recent release of the Legacy Collection, a whole new generation of people get to see why this series is so beloved by people like me. Recently, I went through Battle Network 1, and while good, it is definitely rough around the edges. So I thought, why not make a tips and tricks video for how to make Battle Network 1 more enjoyable and less frustrating to complete. Do keep in mind, this is speaking of the Legacy Collections version, and not the originals on the Game Boy Advance. So if there are any differences, I won't know of them as of making this video, aside from the advertised improvements. If you liked this video, consider liking and subscribing. If this video does well, I'll do a sequel video about Battle Network 2. With that, let's get started. Number 1. Save every chance you get. Battle Network 1 can be quite difficult, especially with some of the virus encounters later on, so make it a habit of saving as much as possible. There's no autosave in these games. Number 2. Your health automatically refills after every battle, so you don't need to put too much focus on healing chips in your chip library if you are good enough at dodging. Number 3. Prioritize how many coded chips you can use in succession with each other over just how powerful a chip is. 5G battle chips will do far more than one strong H battle chip, unless it is an extremely powerful AoE Navi chip or such. Number 4. Around early to mid-game, you will unlock the government complex and a vending machine that you can jack into. Here you will discover bubbler and heater viruses. Grind these chips like crazy. Specifically Bubbler A, as it has a lot of compatibility with other powerful A chips, and Boiler G for the same reasons. Both of these chips deal 3x3 grid damage, making it not only powerful at 50 and 70 damage, but great for taking out multiple threats at once. These chips honestly carried me all the way to endgame and made my experience a lot easier. Number 5. Get Skullman and Sharkman's boss chip as soon as possible for their sheer damage and AoE utility, which includes the upgraded versions if you can beat them fast enough. Skullman being one of the strongest single target guaranteed hit chips, and Sharkman able to clear up rows of viruses easily. Do note that Skullman is easy to beat, so getting his stronger chips should be easy. Sharkman may however give you a serious run for your money. Took me over an hour of attempts to get his third version chip. Number 6. Download the base chip in-game. It's up to you if you want to use it to trivialize the game's early difficulty, but the base chip is an easy I win button for most virus encounters. Number 7. Upgrade your attack and charge shot first before speed. If you are anything like me and struggle with button mashing, you will want to upgrade MegaMan with these options, and these options will only make your journey far easier. Charge shot decreases the time between charge shots, and attack increases the overall damage. Do note that with Buster Max, your individual regular attacks multiply the damage by 100 of whatever your attack is. So if it's 2, you deal 200 damage per rapid attack. So something to keep in mind if you want to use Buster Max. Number 8. Use Buster Max selectively. For the best experience, I highly encourage only using Buster Max against enemies you have proven you can take out quickly, N10 or S rank them. Once you have done that, I would say it's fine to use Buster Max to help save some time, especially in some of the later dungeons. MegaMan Battle Network 1's encounter rate and dungeons are pretty frustrating to get through, so hey, make it easy on yourself. If you know you can cheese through enemies regularly, just use Buster Max to help speed it up. Number 9. Use Buster Max to help get those Navi 3 chips much easier. In all the Battle Network games, you can encounter the stronger version of a story boss inside the internet at specific points, which will then make you able to encounter their third and strongest version randomly within an area. With Buster Max, you can 2 or 3 shot most bosses later in the game. While you are grinding their chips, you will want to get them ASAP. Now normally, I would say it's best to prove you can beat their strongest version. But unlike future games, which makes encountering random bosses easier to encounter again, this game doesn't have that. So save yourself hours of time and just use Buster Max when farming the random encounter bosses. Number 10. When roaming the internet, have a map of the area on your phone or whatever device nearby that you have. This game surprisingly does not even label areas, and because the internet looks exactly the same no matter where you go, aesthetically, it is supremely easy to get lost in. So just have a map by your side to help make the experience more pleasant. Number 11. Talk to everyone and everything. This applies to all Battle Network games, but talking to people and objects will sometimes reveal jack-in ports you can go into, or even items like HP, memory, or power-ups, so it's best to check out every nook and cranny you can. Number 12. There is actually a way to manipulate encounters within this game to help you find those random internet bosses a bit easier. It is absolutely a glitch, but it's the only way to help make things a little easier when it comes around to encountering these bosses. The way it works is you find a long pathway with a little corner for you to nestle into. You run around for a bit to boost the encounter rate chance. Then you go into that corner, save, and go to the title screen. Before the game is loaded, as you hit continue, hold down the run button and the directions you wish to have MegaMan go down a long pathway. If done right, you will always encounter the same viruses and have the exact same chip loadout every time. If it's not the encounter you want, reload your save, walk a little, then do the same method again. Do this until you run into the boss you are roaming for, and that way, if you do defeat them and don't get their second or third chip, you can use this method in order to fight them again easily. It will take some time getting used to pull this trick off, but once you do, it will make your journey so much easier. I will note that one boss in particular, this trick did not work for, which I can't entirely explain why, but it worked on every other boss in the game, including the secret one. Number 13. Against virus mobs, your ranks can determine the RNG factor of you getting a chip or zenny. One dumb thing about this game is it's impossible to get an S rank against a single virus enemy, no matter how fast you kill them. And some chips only drop at specific ranks like 6 or so. Your rank goes up if you kill multiple enemies at once, and goes down as you get hit. So once again, use a guide in order to figure out how to get the chip you want. And speaking of which, number 14. Have a guide for the story on standby. Sometimes this game does not give you enough hints on where you need to go exactly. I myself got lost several times throughout my playthrough, and had to look up a number of things despite the hints from MegaMan telling me I should do X when I actually needed to do something else. Maybe bad localization is to blame for that part. Who knows? Number 15. The final tip for this game I can give is remember that networking is a feature now, and any chips you don't have, you can trade and trade back with others. It will save you a lot of time for chips you don't have, like the aura viruses, which are notorious for being difficult to get the chip from, due to how bad the RNG drops for battle chips in the game is. So when in doubt, call a friend for help. And those are my 15 tips and tricks for how to complete Mega Man Battle Network 1 on the Legacy Collection. Honestly, making this was quite a bit of fun, and I hope these tips and tricks help to make your experience a much smoother one. Battle Network 1 may be rough around the edges, but it's still a fairly good time for those diving in. If you like this video, consider leaving a like and possibly subscribing. I tend to make either guide or reaction videos of my streams here. I tend to stream here as well, and on Twitch occasionally. And maybe if you really liked what you see, consider joining my Ko-fi to help me continue to make videos like this. A special shout out to my Ko-fi supporters that help make videos like this possible. Infested Diva, Vene, Mithril, Shard, Lane, Kala, The Walshinator, Vert, Chi, Toko, Josh, Blushing Geisha, Cerno, and Raidwing. Thank you all so much for your overwhelming support. It's because of you guys that I can continue to make videos like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Happy virus busting!